Good evening, dear racing fans out there, and welcome to the season finale of the L2S Race League. This is the season finale of Tier 2. Tonight I have the honor to replace our infamous, who is sidelined due to religious topics, and therefore I will have myself a intense and long L2S evening. The season finale in both tiers will be broadcasted from me tonight, and yeah, so this is it. The end of season 2 already. How time flies. We have seen a shortened season 2 and 3 so that we finish in time before season 3 will before the new game will arrive. It has now been announced that the new game will be released on July the 16th, and L2S will finish season 3 just 1 week before, so perfect timing. And tonight we will not see a full grid in both tiers, but that's okay. A few drivers already taking a break, taking a week off, because season 3 will already start next week, and so it's legit to just have a breather and focus on something else and be refreshed. And then as soon as season 3 will be kicked off in Bahrain then. But before we head to Bahrain, we still have this race to do here tonight. We have a short qualifying followed by 50% race distance, I think 37 laps or so, here at the Autodromo José Carlos Pache in Interlagos, Brazil. And the weather is dynamic. That has always been a topic in Brazil, especially when we had here for the season finales. Just a short reminder of maybe the years 2008 when Felipe Massa was world champion for how long? 10 seconds? Or it wasn't the finale, but still a very important late race in 2012 where we had this chaotic race where Sebastian Vettel spun early, then Alonso was in front, Vettel again, Alonso, Vettel, back and forth. And the championships are already decided, so in Tier 2 it is Ray Al-Sudin who is already crowned. He is already safe to be upgraded into Tier 1 in the next season, in the next week. And likewise is Simwi, so those two boys battled it out for the crown of Tier 2. Simwi is inactive tonight as he is already safe for the next year's Tier 1. But there is a third spot, and this third spot is still open, and this will be a battle tonight from BMC RB33. I have no idea what this should stand for, but it's safe to say that he is a Max Verstappen fan. He will battle it out against Desert Rat. Those two boys. RB33 is sitting there with 87 points. Desert Rat is 5 points behind. So this battle is very open with a slight advantage for the Verstappen fan. And maybe a third man in. This is really maybe big theory about that is a driver by the name of Mogi. There he is. I know him already for a bit longer. We already know us from another league we have been in. Mogi is 22 points behind BMC. So, in theory it is possible, but very hard. He would have to win the race, while the other twos are not allowed to score points, or just not more than P9 then. And yeah, in theory there is still a chance. It is very, very slim for him. But let's just, I just wanted to mention it. Another battle, or there are a few midfield battles that could be decided. That is, for example, the battle for 7th. That is David de Joel, who has already checked in. I think I saw his name already. There he is. And he is battling against PR Oliver, or Proliver. Proliver is down by only 2 points, so that is really possible. And battle for 9th, that's Kaloum against GT Fanatic. GT Fanatic, there he is. Kaloum is in here tonight too. That is pretty cool to have those boys with us. Kaloum leads GT Fanatic by only 1 point. And if he should have a good race, he might be able to attack Proliver and David de Joel maybe too. So there is a lot of ups and downs, a lot of whens and ifs. I have my calculator with me already, and there could be a lot of back and forth and this and that and ups and downs. You see the list of drivers is very short. I think it's sadly only 11, but as I said, that is okay. We did not have a full Tier 2 for the whole season, so that can happen. The best races, I think, was starting grid of, I think, something around 18 drivers. And 7 of those 18 now have either left the league or decided to have a breather. It's actually just 10 drivers. So everyone who will finish this race will be granted points. And that is an important information to have for all these whens and ifs and stuff. Because even if there's just maybe one DNF and you need just 2 points, you can be in last position and still be, maybe ahead of the driver you are battling with. Anyway, yes, good evening, Steve Moga. That is Mogi. He has already checked into our chat box. Nice to see you active there too. The first one to go out is David de Joel. Is it him? Looks like. Qualifying is dry. That's good, but doesn't have to mean a thing. Chappie is in. Chappie, one of our admins, wishing us some good luck. Thank you, likewise, later for Tier 1. There's a lot at stake for Chappie too. In Tier 1 we have even more of these whens and ifs and ups and downs and so on. And so Tier 1 will be very, very interesting later. And we will get to the Tier 1 race then in approximately 2 hours, a bit less than 2 hours. I will be in there too again, so as I mentioned, I have myself an interesting and intense long L2S evening. And here we are into the first hot lap of David de Joel. Little tradition of mine to ride on board with the first one who goes out on the track. Here he is in the Senna S legendary turn combination that was already named Senna S even when I had the Senna was still racing, so it was not named after him after his death. Long left-hander, the track is pretty slim here, so hard to attack or overtakes. Then a repetitive combination, right, left, right again, left again. This is already the penultimate turn and the last real turn right here. Afterwards, just a little bit of a left kink. And DRS zone starts right here. And the first hot lap of David de Joel is a good one. 1/10 of a second behind Riyad Sudin. And Riyad Sudin is no one else but the Tier 2 champion and the absolute pole king. We have seen very similar situations in Tier 1 and Tier 2. Two very, very dominant drivers for Tier 2, Rayat Sudin, for Tier 1, Chris Tam. Both decided the championship already 2 races before the end, on the same evening, by the way, so happened really parallelly. And both of them were really dominant, even more dominant in the qualifying than in the race. So I think both the drivers have a pole percentage of 80% or more in the whole season. And the funny thing about it was that Rayat Sudin usually was 2 or 3 tenths faster than the Tier 1 pole king Chris Tam. So I am really, really happy and excited to have these two boys battling it out in Tier 1 just by next week. I'm really looking forward to that. And meanwhile, everyone has set at least one time except King Eskimo. King Eskimo is still running. I suppose his lap time got deleted due to strict corner cutting. Corner cuts and track limits can be a topic here on this track just alike. And especially in the first sector in Senna S and track limits of turn 3 and maybe turn 4. These are the big issues here. You can actually not cut a corner except maybe in Senna S. The other turns are rather into track limits. We just had similar situation in the last real life race of Imola. I was joking around on social media because I said that FIA in real life had themselves a Codemasters strict moment in Imola with multiple lap times being deleted in the qualifying. So for the moment, Rayat Sudin posted the pole time. That is obvious, just like always. Just behind him, David de Joel with 1 tenth, then almost 3 tenths, the BMZ. Just 2 drivers able to stay within 3 tenths of Rayat Sudin. Mogi and now Jinnah, the only 2 drivers who were able to stay inside a second of Rayat Sudin, and on a short track like Interlagos is, 1 second is already very, very much. Jinnah here, already one of the new drivers. Jinnah he is already into the Tier 2 race here tonight as a new driver for the next season. Welcome. I can just say welcome to you. We have a few drivers who have checked into our Discord server who are in hopes of being with us then in Tier 2. I hope so too. I hope that everyone will get a spot who wants to race with us. L2S is a very, very strong and competitive but still friendly league, and it's nice group to race with, no matter if Tier 2 or Tier 1. We are now here with Per Oliver. I'm still not sure if he is PR Oliver or Per Oliver. We have a few names where I'm, let's say a handful of drivers and names where I'm just unsure how to pronounce them. He is one of them. And he is on his second hot lap already. His first posted lap time was not very competitive, and he should gain a lot now here in his second try. Yes, there it is, -9 seconds. So we know that he committed a big mistake in the intermediate sector in his first try. And his second hot lap is not bad. 5th best posted time, being 6/10 behind Royazurin. A 2/3 of a second, exactly 2/3 of a second. He was slower than Royazurin. Oh, and now it's a full second, because Royazurin has improved his time to a 1:06 point almost 7. I didn't watch out in the lobby. Let's have a short look in the database. The real life lap record. Where is it? There it is. Posted by Valtteri Bottas in 2018, dating back already a few years now. Is a 1:10.5. So yeah, we are used to vaporizing the real life times here in the virtual worlds, and now it's almost, yeah, let's say 3.5 seconds where Royazurin is faster than Bottas, and especially on short tracks, this is really a much and really big improvement. But yeah, now as we have seen 2 races in the real life season, yeah, maybe Royazurin would really be faster than Bottas in the real life world too. He is not on his best performance at the moment. And King Eskimo has not posted a valid time yet, and this hot lap try was invalid too. He continued to run again, so that means he thinks he has enough of gasoline with him. Otherwise, he could have aborted his formerly driven hot lap. Let's just see. Sector 1, 16.9 is actually not bad. And here, little reminder to myself that I should enter our telemetry tool. We are working together with igk-tas.fr, very cryptic, but quite a cool homepage to watch and monitor the telemetry, even if we are just 10 drivers. Telemetry is always important. And King Eskimo, now he got a valid lap together. Oh, but he still sits in 10th. 2 seconds behind Royazurin. Even slower than GT Fanatic, who posted it on mediums. Let's have a look what Kloom is doing. He is on a hot lap, barely improving, 86 thousandths. Then he was faster at the end of Sector 2, and whoa, what was that? He very lately decided to abort it and almost lost his car in the pit entry. The game saved him. So now I've finally made it and logged into our telemetry tool. While we see, who is it? David De Joel on a hot lap? No, he is not. Hot lap invalid. Maybe have a look at Proliver. If you have only 10 drivers, it's a bit easier to focus and to find someone who is showable and watchable. Proliver's first sector 16.6. That is 2/10 slower than Royazurin on a level of BMC maybe. Let's have a look what he'll do here in Sector 2. Got to be very patient in these turns. And he is improving by a bit more than 2/10. The middle sector was a 34.2. And that would mean he is still somewhere close to a BMC time. And in the end, he did it! He did it, didn't I say so? Just 1/10 faster than BMC RB33. Very cryptic. I need myself a nickname for him. But the bad news for him is that his qualifying is over. So with 3 minutes 40 left, he might not be able to make it back into the pits and get a fresh set of tire and go out on another hot lap, I suppose. David de Joel was on a hot lap, did not improve his time. Meanwhile, we have seen Bellox, who has entered the lobby. Bellox, he is not a member of Tier 2, but he maybe wants to watch what's happening here. Bellox will be an important role later in Tier 1 then. And what does Proliver do? Back to the pits. 2 minute 55. That might be possible. The lap is short, so he might still have a chance to run again if he wants. For the moment, here is Mr. Desert Rat posting a 16.6 in the first sector. 16.6, that is the fastest sector 1 we ever had here tonight, even faster than from Riyad Sudin. So Desert Rat probably has very limited downforce, therefore he was fast on the long straight and back straight. Sector 2, he is on an improvement of 1/10, that is not much. 34.4, and that is half a second slower than as Riyad Sudin's time. And in the end he will be 5th. No improvement for him. No improvement. He posted a similar lap time than before. And yeah, well, let's have a look. Let's watch it. If Desert Rat might really be faster on the straights than in the race 2. Meanwhile, we see Jinnah, who is out on his final, final hot lap try. No improvement in Sector 1. What does Mogi do? Nothing. Nothing. Mogi is finished for this qualifying. Will start maximally in P7. GT Fanatic. He found some time, 2.5 tenths, but that would not be enough to push him ahead. That would not be enough to overtake Kaloum, who is inactive now, standing in the pits. GT Fanatic will start in P9. P9, just as expected. Very close, just 100s behind Kaloum. But behind is behind. Who else? Was it David de Joel? David de Joel posting a new hot lap time? Yes, it was. Giving him P2, followed by Desert Rats. Proliver still on his out lap. Proliver and RB33 still running. So Proliver is the opponent of David de Joel in the battle for P7 in our standings. So he should try to get ahead a little bit. He is not improving himself at the end of Sector 1. What does the Red Bull fan do? He BMC RB33, he is invalid. Lap time is invalid. He corner cutted his way through the Senna S. Time is up, so his qualifying is finished. And he is battling against Desert Rat, who is starting in 3rd. And the question mark, maybe Mogi. They will battle it out for the final position of the drivers who are allowed to race in Tier 1 then by next week. BMC RB33 is leading over Desert Rat by 5 points, and in the qualifying he lost the battle against his main rival. If the race would end here right now, Desert Rat would be the one who would be granted Tier 1. And David Ijoel, I sadly missed it. David Ijoel pushing up almost to the time of Real Sudin. Almost. Just 35 thousandths. He was behind from Real Sudin. Very, very close to our pole king. David Ijoel is the only one we are sort of waiting for. Where he is? There he is. And as soon as he has run over the start finish line, the quali should end. And that just happened. This is it. David Ijoel will start in P2. Who is battling against Proliver for P7. So here's our starting grid. Finally, I have a lot of time to talk about it. Don't have to rush through it. Real Sudin did it again. The next pole for Real Sudin. Then David Ijoel in second. He will battle against Proliver. Proliver, there he is. Desert Rat in 3. Desert Rat battles against Mogi and RB 3-3. Proliver 4th. Jinner in 5. And here's the Max Verstappen fan. Mogi in 7. Kaloum in 8. GG Fanatic 9. And King Eskimo in 10th and last position. But as I said, all of those drivers will be granted points in the end if they can make it through the race. So whatever happens, just do not DNF and you will get a point, even if you are 10 laps behind Real Sudin. So the weather looks cloudy but dry. And our drivers have half a minute of time to set their strategy, and I will be back then in a moment. So here we are in our parade lap, lap 0 of 36, and we have seen an 11th driver who has joined in. That's Mr. T-Luck. So a bit late for the quali, but not too late to at least start the race. And P11 is not that bad, I would like to say, for not racing a single lap, for not running a single lap in the qualifying. Real Sudin is X'd. Real Sudin is driven by the CPU. I hope there is no big issue for him. I hope he's just too lazy to drive the installation lap. Short look at the tires. That will be an easy look at. Everyone runs on softs. The top 10 have to run on their used set. They ran in a qualifying. T-Luck has the little bit of advantage that he has a totally fresh set of soft rubber he can run on. So these two boys already rushed through their each installation lap. Interesting thing about the start-finish straight in Brazil, because in real life the drivers have to press the brake, not to roll backwards. So that can be really awkward when starting. In virtual life, this is not a factor, of course. And this is it. The last race of the L2S Season 2 is on. Off we go. Maybe. At least Real is already driving, and here is the rest. Yeah, the typical Codemaster stuff. Every race, every week we have some new things that can happen. But okay, this is just approximately the same gap that Real has in the overall standings too. Everything else went rather smoothly, and right when I say it, we have a crash. 3-man tussle. What happened there? Kaloum is ghosted. We have a VSC, GT Fanatic has front wing damage, last position. First penalties coming in, Tilak and Mogi. While we see the tire strategy from Amazon Web Services. So one important thing is the fact if Rehatsudin is still ghosted. Yes, he is. Oh. That could lead to some troubles for him. I've seen that already once. I can't remember which race it was, but one race he was not dominating, and that was just because he dropped out of the race, of the lobby, very early in the race and then lost lots of times. It does not look like as if he would be able to rejoin. No, he did. No, he didn't. Okay, so whatever. For today, it's not important, but for next week, he should get this thing sorted. So let's start our whens and ifs. So I'll get my calculator right next to me. David Icoel now finally is leading, and yes, Desert Rat just followed him. That means Desert Rat would win the race as it stands now, so he would be the one who is being promoted up into Tier 1, and BMC, who is sitting in 4th, would be the big loser at the moment. Desert Rat in no, I'm sorry, it's not David it's of course Desert Rat, second man. There he is. He would get 18 points. And now as RB33 has jumped into 3rd, BMC would lose only 3 points now anymore against Desert Rat, and that would mean that still BMC would be the one who is getting promoted. So this will be the big battle here tonight. They are already in very good positions, P2 and 3, so there is not a lot of ups and downs possible here right now for those two boys. Weather is still overcast, so it does not look like it is rainy right now. But that could change, of course, in the later stages of the race. We will find out about that together. Then the battle for P7 overall. David Icoel and Proliver. David Icoel, the leader. Okay, the battle is decided. Proliver sitting here in P4. Not enough points, of course, for him. And battle for overall 9th. That is Kaloum against GT Fanatic. Yeah, both not sitting in a good position. Kaloum in 10th, Fanatic in 11th. But as long as Kaloum stays in front of GT Fanatic, he is safe. So the penalties we have seen, I think... Oh wow! We have seen a +5 for Mogi, because he tagged, I think it was Tilak, And T-Luck himself got himself a +5 and another +5 and the first +3. So only 4 laps into the race and T-Luck is already in danger of getting disqualified. At least he is closest to it from everyone. We have a yellow in sector 3. Was it T-Luck? Yes, it was. There he is. T-Luck just jumping into the lobby very late, so maybe he didn't have a chance to put in the correct setup and is driving with a default car. That could be an excuse. Oh yeah, there is again the ex Rayad Sudin. I did not see the message from the game that Rayad Sudin left. But definitely it is not a good thing. He will probably ignore for today, but he definitely has to sort this out until next week. So what else is going on? Just one driver at the moment chasing the other one in the DRS window. This is Prodiver, who is about to drop out of the DRS window against PMC, but he should, yes, he still is able to open up his rear wing. A little bit of a lock tire here into turn 4. Let's ride on board with him a little bit. It looks like as if he would be able to crawl up a little bit here in the turns. But if I watched the gap and it is actually no advantage for him. He is about to drop out of the window. And no, it is still opened. It is still open, and now he's getting closer. I'm having a look into our telemetry tool for this battle, Prodiver against BMC. BMC is running in rich engine mode. He tries to crawl away and always checks in, checks out to the overtake button. Both of the drivers have more or less a similar amount of gasoline excess fuel with them, so no advantage for any of them or not. But Prodiver did not use the rich engine mode lately, so he's trying to close up without burning excess fuel. Let's have a look about the tire wear. Jinna and GT Fanatic sadly did not open up their telemetry to us, so I cannot speak about them. But what I can tell you is the fact that David de Joel in the lead has the most worn out tires from everyone. Front right is the biggest problem on this track. Front right, he is already at 46%. To compare that, Prodiver only has 32, so 1/4 less of tire wear. And he is still chasing BMC here. Doesn't look like as if he could get a little bit closer or not. Only Kaloum and GT Fanatic, who are not running on their start tire anymore. Medium and hard, but I doubt that Fanatic could be able to go through on this set. And Prodiver is able to stay inside the DRS window, but cannot attack. He seems a little bit closer now. As soon as I headed away with the camera, he gets closer. But BMC ahead might be able to get into the DRS window of Desert Rat too. So that would destroy Prodiver's hopes for an attack soon. David Dijoel tire wear now at 52%, so he might make it maybe for another lap or two, but then it should be over for him on his start tire Z. So he's running away from Desert Rat with over 4.7, 4.8 seconds, but that costs tires for him. And now... no, it just looked like as if BMC would be too far away from Prodiver, but still it is not. We can easily stay with this battle as it's the only one, the only battle who could chase each other. Ah, good evening, Simwee. Verdi, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Who has just checked into our chat box. He's cheering for the Eskimo and Kaloum. King Eskimo sitting in 6th and Kaloum in 9th. Uh-oh, T-Luck, another penalty. Let's have a look in his account. But first we watch Prodiver, who has to dig out of the grass. He pushed it a bit too much and therefore now lost a lot of time. He didn't lose a position, but he lost 8.5 seconds on BMC. And there was Flavio Briatore posting a text into our chat box. I do not know who it was, but one of our L2S admins wishing a safety car face. And Prodiver, who was one lap ago, he was trying to attack BMC. Now he is under attack from Mogi, maybe. Yellow in sector 3, T-Luck is out. T-Luck is out. What happened there? Oh no, he's standing in the pit lane. What's going on here? It looks like T-Luck would be in the pit lane, but we have a safety car. Oh no, he's not in the pit lane. He crashed on the main straight. Couldn't see it. He crashed on the main straight. Yeah, it is Slayer, the L2S admin I was talking about. It is the Slayer, not only the admin, but the league owner. And it looked like T-Luck, listened to him. So this is the L2S combination of Flavio Briatore and... who was it? Who was the driver in 2007 or 2008 in Singapore? I don't remember. Was it Bruno Senna? I don't know, but at least a similar situation, and T-Luck listened to his boss running into the wall, and we have the wished safety car phase. That will definitely change a lot of stuff here right now. Leader is still David Dijoel, but have a look. David Dijoel, he may not overtake, Oh, he overtook. Oh no, have a look what happened. I said it, don't overtake the safety car, and he did just that. And David Dijoel is disqualified. We had 10 laps of smooth sailing, and all of a sudden everything is different. Yes, so I repeat my sentence, or at least I try to speak it out again. Desert Rat is leading the race and ahead of BMC. Desert Rat BMC running on hards, behind Proliver on mediums. Totally different strategy there. Ah, yeah. Thank you, Slayer. Nelson PK, that was the name I was searching for. Thanks. I don't know if you looked it up really quick or if you still had it in your mind. But yeah, T-Luck is our version of Nelson PK Jr. And Slayer is our version of Flavio Briatore. And so third time I try to talk about the strategy situation. We have Desert Rat and BMC in the lead with hards, then Proliver with mediums, but I don't think that this man, there it is, I don't think that he can make it through the race, while Desert Rat and BMC will intend to go through. Then we see King Eskimo in fourth. He will try to go through on his hards. Chinna in 5 and Mogi 6. They will have to stop again, I suppose, on their mediums. Kaloum stopped already 1 lap earlier on hards. Then, Kaloum now ahead of Mogi. Overtook him in the pit exit. And GT Fanatic on mediums, and he still ghosted. Yes, ghosted. Reazurin on softs. Well, we can ignore Reazurin. Sadly. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers who will have to stop again, and 4 drivers who are going through on their set of hards. So the medium runners now have to really push hard to make their strategy work. Yes, Slayer posted again, and he's totally right, because this makes the fight for P3 a lot more interesting, a lot more exciting. Let's repeat it again. P3, the final spots for the upgrade into Tier 1. We see BMC versus Desert Rat versus maybe Mogi. Mogi has a very slim chance, but chance is still there. With his P7, the chance doesn't get better, but it is still alive. BMC, who is at the moment, or who is before the race sitting in third, has a gap of 5 points on Desert Rat. Desert Rat now is in the lead, and BMC would right now lose 7 points, and with a loss of 7 points on Desert Rat, Desert Rat would lead by 2 points then, and would be granted the final spot to be upgraded into Tier 1. Wow. Really, wow. And the other midfield battles, battle for P7, that is actually now decided. David de Joel is out due to a, sorry to say, but stupid mistake. And Proliver is 2 points behind David de Joel. So Proliver just needs to finish ahead of Reazurin, the ghost of Reazurin, and everything is fine for him. And battle for 9th, Kaloum versus GT Fanatic. Kaloum sitting in 6th, so he just needs to finish ahead of GT Fanatic, and he will be given final P9 then. So safety car is in this lap. Desert Rat is pacing the field in the last sector. He has not picked up the pace yet. Still warming up his tires. Now he has picked up the pace, but BMC is close. BMC was not shaken off. In the background, Chinna and Eskimo have swapped positions. Medium runner ahead of the hard. And this will be the big battle now. This is the battle for the victory. This is the battle for Tier 1. Desert Rat versus BMC. Whoever wins this race will be upgraded and put into Tier 1. They don't have to win, but as they are so much up the field, it will automatically be the battle for the win. But there is some threat for both of them behind, and by the name of Prodiver and Chinner, both running the medium tires. I mentioned it. They need to make these mediums last. No, sorry. They need to make them work. They need to push hard and get everything out of the mediums if they want to have a chance against the hard runners. And right now it looks like Chinner is faster than Proliver. No DRS yet, of course. He might not even need DRS. Wheel to wheel into Senna S. They leave some space, breathing space for both of them. Slipstream for Chinner. Inside line here into turn 4 and still next to each other into turn 5. This looks like the Ferrari battle of 2019. Still, now it's decided. Now it is. Is it decided? Great battle between those two boys in rather similar liveries. They almost look like teammates. SimV posted. SimV is obviously a fan of Pleasant Red, it looks like. He is cheering on for him to win. Those two boys who were rivals on the track for a few times already in this league, in this season. DRS is activated. Right now it looks like Desert Red would run away slightly from BMC. BMC has dropped out of the DRS window. I'm having a look into our telemetry tool right now. So it looks like no one was really able to save some fuel in the safety car phase. I'm a bit, yeah, looks a bit strange to me, I have to admit. The numbers look very similar to how they were before. While we see a mistake from Chinner. Chinner has dropped down behind GT Fanatic. And Mogi up into P4. Mogi, who still has some theoretic chances. Chinner, another mistake. What's happening for him? Chinner looked really fast, but now he's down into P7 only anymore. This is the next battle going on. GT Fanatic against Mogi. And the first penalty to our leader, Desert Red, with a +3, and BMC is close. Here is the view. Desert Red was running away. He was already away over a second. He pushed BMC out of the DRS window. And now have a look how close BMC is. And with the penalty seconds added onto his total, right now BMC would be the race winner. With the hards, as they are both running, it is likely that they will go through if there isn't another safety car phase. So that would mean they will have to settle this battle on the track. Both running on rich engine mode, but they do not have that much of spare fuel left. Desert Red has almost used up all his ERS amount. So he's squeezing everything out of his battery to stay ahead. And BMC maybe will wait a little bit and wear him out. So while they are following each other, let's have a look at the midfield battle. There is some... Where is it? There it should be. 3-man group. Yes, it is. Yeah, more or less. Especially Mogi is aggressive. Mogi looks like he could have a chance for the final podium spots. And then imagine BMC and Desert Rat crashing each other out. Mogi overtaking Proliver, and all of a sudden Mogi would be upgraded into Tier 1. And I thought almost the attack is coming, but BMC was able to only push up ahead and very close to Desert Rat, but he did not look like he would be able to attack yet. Good question from Dean Cunha. Who will handle the pressure? I would like to throw this question back to you, Mr. Cunha. Can you handle the pressure in just about an hour? Because Dean Cunha, one of our admins, is in a big battle of relegation. He needs to stay in Tier 1, or at least he will battle to stay inside of Tier 1. So the Desert Rat now has totally used up his ERS. Battery is completely low. And... what will BMC do? What will BMC do? Will he try to attack and get this decided on the race? Or will he just follow Desert Rat for the next 15.5 laps until they both cross the checkered flag and then grab the victory because of the penalty situation? Interesting situation. And there it is! There was the pressure and the nerves got to him! Desert Rat committed the deciding mistake just ahead of the penultimate turn. Ooh, and now Desert Rat is under pressure. He gets the position back maybe with the DRS attack against Desert Rat. Wheel to wheel into the Senna S. Ooh, Desert Rat got it back. Ooh, he will be sweating now. He will have nervous, sweaty hands. ERS is empty for him. Therefore now BMC ahead again. Ooh, we needed just this one mistake to really light up this torch. BMC was following Desert Rat, maybe was unable to really attack him for so many laps. And all of a sudden we have us a real battle now. Next penalty is handed to Jinner. +3 for multiple warnings. That can only mean corner cutting. So let's have a look what Desert Rat will do now. He must be in full attack mode now. He is behind BMC. He has a +3 seconds penalty. Desert Rat looks a bit faster on the straight. BMC looked like he was unable to get next to Desert Rat on the straight. But, bit of accelerations mistake for Desert Rat, and that was costly. That costed him a few tenths. And therefore now BMC is away a bit. 7/10. 6.5 tenths of gap. That's not enough to take a breather, but at least enough that Desert Rat will not be able to attack or overtake him again. Meanwhile, Mogi was unable to attack Proliver. Mogi 8/10 behind Proliver. Stably running in the DS window, but unable to get wheel to wheel. And now this battle has totally switched. Just 2 laps ago, BMC was running behind Desert Red and was unable to attack, and now Desert Red is running behind BMC and is unable to attack. Both are now very, very low on ERS. Both are rather low on excess fuel. So we still have 1/3 to go. This could be then the final deciding factor in the end. The Ghost of Tsurin. New nickname for him. Not Ghost of Tsushima, but Ghost of Tsurin. And Mogi now has dropped out of the DRS window of Proliver, so the situation for P3 looks rather decided, at least for the moment. And yeah, we are focused on this battle. I hope it's okay for everyone that I do not show the whole field very much, but for the moment this battle is just too important to miss it out. Desert Red getting closer on the back straight, but not close enough to try and overtake. Let's have a look at the tire wear. We see for both our top drivers, BMC and Desert Red, very similar figures. Bit of up and down, but rather close. The interesting thing is that behind, Proliver on his mediums has almost the same percentage. On 1 or 2 tires, Proliver is even in a better situation, in a better condition than BMC. So that just shows how much the tire wear is nagging on you if you have to battle. And now Desert Red looks maybe close enough to attack at the end of the second DRS zone, but a bit better acceleration for BMC, who tries to sneak away, sneak out to get Desert Red out of his slipstream. No chance again this time. Mogi in the pits, final pit stop. He will finish his race on fresh mediums again. I expected maybe fresh softs. Ah yeah, and Chinner did just that. Chinner has opted for fresh softs to finish this race. Should be an advantage for Chinner against Mogi then. It is so intense, it is so incredible that both of the drivers are unable to attack each other, and it was really this one mistake who got things started and then ended again, because now the situation is the same again. Desert Red is following but not being able to attack. Let's have a short look at the penalty situation. We see only a few of +3s. Desert Red and Proliver and Mogi, and a double +3 for Jinner. But as long as BMC does not put up a +3 too, he should be safe anyway. Kaloum in 4th, who's running on hards, has a lot higher tire degradation than BMC and Desert Red. Interesting fact too. Next penalty handed to TG Fnatic, +3. And now Desert Red is already 7/10 away, at least at the start of the DRS zone, so it does not look good for Desert Red. So the prediction of SimV looks like it will not come to that. SimV a bit earlier in the chat box proposed that Desert Rat will win the race, but nope. Nope. It does not look like as if Desert Rat would follow you into Tier 1, at least how things stand right now. Oh yes, I missed it. Thanks, Mr. Slayer, Mr. Briatore. He just reminded me that Desert Rat was handed another +3 seconds penalty. So Desert Rat now with +6, BMC no penalty yet. And yes, I would like to think the same as Slayer said. That this is game over for Desert Rat. Unless BMC doesn't commit a major mistake, of course. But just when it happened, it really looked like Desert Rat is faster now, and he is very close. Just like if that was the ignition for him to understand he has to bring it all now. But still, it does not look like as if he would have a chance to overtake. And here at the end of the main straight, he is close, but not close enough to get wheel to wheel in the center S. And on the second DRS zone, no. Not again. BMC always has that good of acceleration to pull away just enough not to get into Desert Rat's grasp. And have a look at the minimap how big the gap between P2 and 3 is. So these two boys really pulled away. Kaloum sitting now in third. Because he didn't stop, but he could get under pressure from Proliver soon enough that he could drop off the podium again. As we are more or less now through with the tire strategy, let's get the penalty situation depicted. So the top two, the first two is more or less safe to say right now. Let's have a look at the other situations again. Battle for 7th, David de Joel, who is disqualified. He will be swallowed up by Proliver with his 4th position, maybe 3rd soon. He would make up the only 2 points he has off gap. And then the battle for 9th, Kaloum and GT Fnatic. Kaloum sitting in 3rd, maybe will drop off the podium. But Kaloum will still make so much points that he will not even overtake P8, but he will jump into P7 then. Proliver or Kaloum. They are battling not only for P8, they're battling for P7 as David de Joel is out. And GT Fnatic is 6, he will get 8 points and then then he will be level to David de Joel. So if GT Fnatic could make one more point, what is rather unlikely because he's so far away from Mogi. But if he could make one more point, GT Fnatic would overtake David de Joel too. So David de Joel, only because of his disqualification, is at risk to drop 3 positions in the end. Yeah, so close now from being more or less the safe winner to disqualified and dropping multiple positions in the overall standings. So with 4.5 laps remaining, let's have a short look through the field to get in at least a little bit of a look of everyone. We see BMC in the first position. Proliver is out! Oh no, Proliver is out! What happened there? Can we get it depicted? Where is it? I didn't see it. Oh, I was in the center S. There he is. There is a wrecked car. And we have a VSC, and that will change a lot of stuff in the midfield battles. Not for the race winner, but in the midfield battle. Let's see when the VSC will end. BMC has a bigger gap now than it was before the VSC. I actually was a bit afraid that he might get a penalty for that. But he did not. He stayed in his windows. But now Desert Red is over a second away, is out of the DRS window. And just as long as BMC doesn't put his car into the wall, everything is fine for him. So again, let's try to get everyone in. BMC is leading over Desert Red. Very similar liveries. Those two boys look like teammates almost. Then Mogi now in third. Mogi up and into P3 again. Behind him now is GT Fnatic, who just overtook Kaloom. And in sixth, Jinna, King Eskimo, and the Ghost of Tsurin. Yeah, everything looks more or less decided right now. Due to the 6 seconds penalty of GT Fnatic, Mogi is safe on the podium now. Has a gap of 5.5 seconds plus 3 seconds that Fnatic has more of penalties. So he is safe. But GT Fnatic and Kaloom will swap positions then in the end due to penalties. Oh, and maybe Fnatic will even be... Oh no. Delete that, scratch that. Jinna has 6 penalty seconds too, so level to GT Fnatic. They will not swap positions. Jinna now over to Kaloom. So David Joel is out, Proliver is so too. That means Kaloom and GT Fnatic. Kaloom makes up 8 points as it looks like now. Maybe even more due to the penalty situation ahead. GT Fnatic would make 12 points now, it looks like. We still have to watch and wait for the ups and downs penalty-wise, but it looks like that both Kaloom and GT Fnatic would jump over David Joel and Proliver then in the end. So another look, final look at our telemetry tool. The tire wear is really high for Kaloom, 77%. He will just make it through the race, and and he has front wing damage. Kaloom has a damaged front wing. Yes, on the left side, no downforce on the whole left side. How can he make it through the race? How can he make it through the last laps? I am really wondering. He will keep his position. King Eskimo is so far behind, but he is out of the penalty window of Jinna, so Kaloom will not be ranked over Jinna in the end, not be ranked up over Fnatic in the end. Kaloom will finish in 6th, therefore he will get 8 points, and he will jump over David Joel by just 1 point. Just 1 point that he will be up over David Joel. And we are in the lap. Lap 36 of this race. Lap number, I haven't counted it. I would like to guess lap 532 in this season. Season 2 will come to an end. And the third and final man who will be upgraded into Tier 1 is this man. I still need a nickname for him, but he is called BMC RB33. Congratulations to the victory, congratulations to a great result of your season, and welcome to Tier 1. In second then, with the penalty added up, 11.5 seconds, looks very, very impressive. Desert Rat P2, he just fell short, so short, but there is another chance next year then. P3, good result, podium on the final race for Mogi. P4 then GT Fanatic, 5th goes to Jinna, and 6 will go to the one with so much front wing damage. He almost was caught by King Eskimo. He maybe is even caught. Have a look, Hamilton and Glock. Hamilton and Glock. And does King Eskimo overtake him? Oh, yes! How incredible is that, King Eskimo? King Eskimo pushing ahead over Kaloum in the very end. GT Fanatic is called to be the driver of the day. So this is it. The leap of champions for this man, BMC Max Verstappen. Congratulations to the win. Congratulations to Tier 1. But that will be a whole different level. That will be a new challenge for you then. Next season. Next week already. And this is the final result after penalties. BMC has won. Then Desert Rat in second. Third goes to Mogi. Fourth, GT Fanatic. Fifth is Jinna. 6th, King Eskimo. P7, Kaloum. 8th, the Ghost of Turin. P9, Proliver, who DNF'd. Likewise to David De Joel. And Tilak DNF'd already the very first one. Yeah, the session is officially over. The season is officially over, at least for Tier 2. One event is left in Tier 1 in this season. The race of Brazil in Tier 1. It will start in approximately 40-45 minutes. The stream will go online approximately 5 minutes earlier. So I have a bit more than half an hour to have a breather and grab myself some beverage. And yes, I will be back soon. I will be back shortly for the next and then really final race of this season 2. Thanks for being with me. I hope that you will be with us then again in half an hour for the race for T1. And I hope you liked it just as much as I did. And see you later, boys.